We are live again,
What, all right.
and now we're just streaming on social media platforms. So we are not on the other one. So our language could be a little bit more colorful.
Ah, yes.
Right on, and okay. So let me know when you want me to run the intro. Give it a few minutes or not, or a few seconds to let people join, or what.
No.
We didn't announce it though, so I don't know how many people are going to actually
Yeah,
join.
no.
But
All right, go for it.
okay, running the intro.
Shut up and sit down.
Boom.
Now, hello, welcome. What's up, brother? We the middle, Dope and Dharma. We are Dope and Dharma, and now we're gonna do We the Middle. I know for some of you that listen to this on the radio, you hear it, the couch live when we talk about addiction and recovery and stuff like that, or when we're doing Dharma time, we're in our Zen moment. We're doing some Buddhistic stuff. Is Buddhistic a word? Is that a?
It is now.
Good. It is good.
Now.
I like it.
Run with it.
But
who's going to tell you no?
But this is We the Middle, and We the Middle we created so that we can talk about the stuff that we all like argue about for some reason recently in the last several years, and that's políticas, politics. We come from a middle perspective. We're not Crips or Bloods. We're not mommy or daddy. We're not left or right. We're not red or blue. We're just in the middle, like so many of you. And we want to be able to talk about these things without like getting so volatile and angry and just nutty about it. I know some of you can still get nutty. You want to get nutty, you go ahead and get nutty. We'll let you speak. It doesn't matter. You got something to share, we'll let you share it. All voices should be allowed to be heard. Just if we don't agree with you, don't get your feelings hurt. Anyway.
Side note, real quick before you get started. I think
right.
Kind of
What's
funny.
Up? What's up?
When you said politics, but you said it in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Funny thing, the other day I was going through the drive-through with my daughter.
Yeah.
And the gentleman in the front part, it was a Burger King. The gentleman at the window, after he took our order and our money and stuff, looked at us and asked us if we wanted a Corona. And I said, "What? Corona?
Like what? Like a beer?"
He said, yeah. And he took these crowns, the Burger King crowns.
Una Corona.
And he's putting it on. I was like, hold up, dude. Like this, I thought you meant like Corona, like cerveza. And he's like, oh no, not yet. Like it never occurred to him that I did not know that he was talking about a crown when he said Corona.
Wow.
I thought he meant Corona as in the beer, cerveza. I was like, why are you on what?
That's hilarious.
I just thought that was funny.
That is funny. Yes, Leo from Facebook Live in St. Louis. What's up, brother? Yeah, we're doing it again because now we're We the Middle. Now we're talking politics. That other show was for the radio. They got it. It's in the can. It'll air tonight, 8 p.m. here in Central Florida. But now this is stuff we really want to talk about.
Right now we're going to let our hair down.
Yeah, let our hair down a little bit. Short as it may be.
There you go.
Trinity,
anyways, I just thought that was funny. I thought he was offering me a beer and he was offering me
a beer too.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, Trinity. Last month, Kamala Harris jumped in the race, right? Now,
it's one way of looking at it.
Yeah. So I told you I'm going to be open to it. I told you I'm going to be open because I think that's what I need to be. I'm going to be open, and if you can win my vote, Kamala, you can win my vote.
So did you like her communism?
Is that what? So let's get into it.
Are you down with that?
We're not November yet. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
She announced her financial thing, and it was straight up communism that they even tried here in the 70s, by the way, and it didn't work.
All right. So let's talk about it.
I'm not even being funny. Like, I'm dead ass serious. That's what it was.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I want to hear about it. I want to hear about it. So
price controlling.
What did she say? What did she say?
She wants to call it an opportunity economy. Like,
what is it? What is it?
she
Like,
just
seriously.
seriously, she wants to put like a bunch of crazy wish lists that would make everybody who's basically broke, happy if they don't really do any research whatsoever. Like the biggest takeaway was like the one that they tried in multiple different countries, and they even tried here in the U.S. I think in the 70s was
Uh-huh.
price control. They were going to stop the price on eggs and certain grocery things. They're going to limit it and stuff like that. Yeah, she's calling it an opportunity economy.
And what does that do? Like if
Well,
you
she thinks that's going
limit
to
the
stop
price, what
inflation.
does that do?
She thinks it's going to stop inflation, but it's
I
not.
thought inflation doesn't exist. Didn't they say that the economy?
They're all over the place, dude. That's what happens when you put somebody in that you didn't actually vote for.
All right, let's go back a little bit. Let's rewind the clock a little bit.
Sure.
Let's rewind the clock a little bit first. So prior to a month ago.
Yeah, see, Leo put it in 1972. It failed.
Okay.
Yeah, but it also failed in other countries like more recently than that, like Venezuela and everything else. I think the Russia tried to do it as well.
We'll get into that. I don't even know anything about that thing yet. But all I know is I'm still laughing that I still hear rumblings of that Trump is a threat to democracy. And it makes me laugh because it's like, wait a minute. Isn't telling a person that legally won the ticket, because Biden won the ticket, he's supposed to be on the ballot, right? As much as a lot of people didn't want him to be there on the ballot. I was being told by anybody in a Crip bandana that Biden was the best person for the job. And then all of a sudden he goes on a debate, totally does what Biden does, which is
Fail miserably.
Yeah, can't really speak very well. Can't think on his feet.
Which everybody knew, by the way. That wasn't like a new development.
They
just couldn't hide it anymore.
That's my point. Once he did it openly, all of a sudden everybody acted like, "Oh my God, this just happened."
Yeah.
But we were hearing that weren't my red bandana carrying friends out there saying that he was bunker Biden all during the first time to be president.
Dude, he was deteriorating for years now.
He was in a bunker. He didn't even go out there and say anything. All the Crips went out there and politicked for him.
Yeah, but you don't
campaign for him. He didn't even campaign.
If you believe the conspiracy theory, they did it on purpose, though.
Okay, but what I'm saying is he didn't even campaign, and then he became the nominee. He didn't even campaign. Didn't have to. Didn't have to. He ran on pure Obama street cred.
Well, the DNC made that phone call
became the president, right?
He lost essentially. I think it was Iowa, and then the very next day, like Pete Buttigieg and all of them just dropped out, and he's the nominee.
Yeah. And then so this time he wins, right? This time he is kind of campaigning, as weak as it is.
Well, he didn't really win. There was no voting.
There was no vote. You're right. He was not even. There was. You're right. But he was on some tickets.
Nominee.
No. He won because there was an election. He just wasn't always opposed. He wasn't always opposed.
Yeah.
But there was a vote, and then all of a sudden, like the people, like I like how they were saying, well, like Pelosi was saying, well, when he decides. But every time I heard him talk, he had decided. He had said, "I'm running."
Yeah, he was
even that
out.
Friday, that Saturday, he was saying, "I am running, damn it!" And then everybody kept saying, "Yeah." But we'll see what he decides to do.
The machine pushed him out,
and I'm thinking, but he did decide. You guys just aren't. Are you not listening to what he's saying? He's saying that he's running, but you guys are saying that he hasn't decided. But he sounds like he decided. And then the weekend happens, and then during the weekend, we even heard his camp say he's gonna run. He's running. And then we hear whispers and rumors because, it's Washington. You can't keep anything secret in Washington. And then all of a sudden he comes out and he quits. But he didn't just quit. He does what kings do. See, kings are allowed to knight the next person, right? Anoint the next person. You are the next king. Like kings
he didn't
do
even
that.
quit. He put there was just a picture of a piece of paper posted on a social media platform. There was no like press conference. There was no. I don't think he even signed it. Like there was no him.
Right.
It was just boom. He's gone.
Right. But kings are allowed to do that, right? Kings are allowed to say the next king will be.
There's three attacks on democracy. None of them came.
But I've never ever seen someone win a primary or win a ticket and be able to tell the American people who is going to take their place because they're coming off the ticket. Has that ever been done? I
3
don't
attacks
know.
on democracy, and none of them came from Trump.
What are the 3? Is that one? The one I just said, that's one,
So the
right?
first attack on democracy, the way I see, because I don't think January 6th was an attack on democracy. I think those were some
No,
knuckleheads
because they
that
didn't
got
have
carried
guns
away.
on it.
Yeah,
Dude, all those guys are gun carrying people,
was-
and none of them had guns on them. So,
knuckleheads got too
come on, really?
enthusiastic.
Let's
It-
get real.
It was not good, but I don't think there was an attack on democracy.
I saw more
Matter of
destruction
fact-
in Portland.
Yeah. So the first one
Okay.
was, I think it was in California or Colorado, when they
Okay.
tried to take Trump off the ballot.
Yeah.
They
that's
tried
true.
to
That's true.
remove him
That's
from the
right.
ballot.
That's true.
So
That's
like
true.
last I checked, democracy means I get to vote for who I
That's
want.
right. Even if it's
So-
Mickey Mouse,
So
I should be allowed to vote for Mickey
You tried
Mouse.
to take somebody off the ballot because you
Right.
didn't like them. So you tried to
Right.
remove my ability to vote for this person
Okay.
in Colorado. And I think there was another state they tried, and it was told
Okay.
that was unconstitutional.
Okay.
Attack on democracy, number 1.
All right.
Second attack on democracy, the way I see it,
Okay.
is using the legal system, the judicial branch, to go after a political opponent. It's kind of a big deal. Never
That
been
is a
done
big
before, and they went after him on a bunch of erroneous things.
And all
So
the cases up
erroneous-
at the same time.
Yeah, and so erroneous that several of them just got thrown out because they were deemed unconstitutional, right? So it's pretty proof. There's kind of proof there that. So now you're using the judicial system
Wait.
to go after a political opponent, and then the third one is the one.
Wait,
you just
time out
said.
before you go to third. Time out. Because on that one, first of all, anybody out there that's ever had a legal case know how long cases take to come, but they never all come at once. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, does anybody else think it's weird that all of them happened like in the same time? Like
How
all of
about
them
the-
all of a
no.
sudden went to court at the
How
same
about the
time.
fact? How about something else that's never happened? Somebody left the president's cabinet to go join the prosecution team to go after him. Somebody left his administration to go in and say, "Hey, I'm gonna help you go after him." So that's the second one that I would feel is an
Alright.
attack on democracy.
All right, that's
And then the
two.
third one is you conveniently wait. Now everybody knew that Biden was
Mhm.
slipping, and you
Right.
conveniently
Everybody
wait
did.
until it was too late to have a primary.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you basically just get told, here's this person that nobody voted
Yeah.
a single time for. She's now your nominee. That is an attack. Nobody voted for her. That wasn't a Democratic vote. It was basically, she's yours
Yeah.
now.
yeah.
So that to me is an attack on democracy 3 times, and none of them came from Trump.
Right.
Like, it make sense, man. I don't understand. And then the thing that pisses me off is prior to like a couple days ago, it blows my mind anybody
Yeah.
that was pro Kamala Harris. Anybody. Why? Because up to a few days ago, she had no policies on anything. She didn't come out to say, "Hey, here's my plan. This is what I'm going to do."
Well,
There
she
was
wasn't
nothing.
expecting to run, Trinity.
It doesn't matter.
She
My
was
point is-
expected to be gifted the presidency because
get
the
it.
dude would pass out dead or
And that's
something.
fine. And that's fine. My problem is anybody that was just pro her and supporting her, what exactly are you pro? Tell me why you're supporting her without mentioning her race or her gender. Why is it you? She had no policies. So you're straight up just like a sheep, just
They didn't
following
even
a
like
line.
her. They didn't even like her.
Nobody
Am I
liked
wrong?
her. She
Am I
was-
not- Am I
she was
wrong? I mean,
They're trying
like
to
over a
deny
month
the
ago,
fact that
you-
she was
you
the
go-
border czar.
yeah, 6
she's
weeks
the-
ago, nobody liked her, right?
Nobody
am I,
did.
Am I wrong to believe that? I mean, 6
And now
weeks
they're all
ago,
supporting like she's the second coming of Christ or something. I
Dude.
don't understand.
it's like
crazy.
Obama's back on the ticket the way
Yeah,
they're
it's
acting.
weird.
It's really weird.
And she has no policy up until a few days ago. She had no
Oh,
policy.
get ready, 'cause she's gonna
So
win.
what are you supporting?
She's gonna win, bro. She's gonna
and then
win.
and then one of the policies that she has, she stole from Trump. Like,
Oh, yeah,
the,
the
no-
tips-
the not
the
taxing
tips.
the tips. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's straight up his. And then the other economic stuff that she came up with, she stole from other people. The whole price control. They tried that here in the 70s. They also tried it in other countries. And it doesn't
So
work.
tell me about this. All right, so now let's get back to that price control. What are you
ridiculous.
talking about? What is the price control stuff that she's talking
She's
about?
trying to
What are you
basically put a cap on how much they called it no price gouging or something like that, which nobody defines. So you
Well,
can't
I
define-
heard her talk, but she said price gauging. I was like,
Yeah,
gauging.
yeah. Yeah, she.
What is
she's-
she talking
she's
about? No price
stupid,
gouging.
man.
Who's gouging? Who's gouging?
She's trying to basically make it seem as if the administration that she's been a part of for the last 3.5 years hasn't driven the country off of a cliff and raised inflation. She's trying to blame it on Winn-Dixie and Publix charges too much for eggs. Yeah, because we all know that that's what causes inflation, right? Is my eggs, are doubled in price. That's why inflation. No, that's not what causes inflation.
Hmm.
It's ridiculous to me, man. And I'm tired, dude. I'm gonna get a little irritated here in a minute because I am so tired of the double standards, man. I am like, I
It's getting you. I can see
I
it. It's getting
feel
you.
like well, the reason why it's getting me is because I'm
Yeah.
tired of being made to feel like I'm crazy. Like I'm not
Mm.
seeing what I'm seeing. Like everybody's
Right.
walking around acting as if it's not happening when it's clearly happening.
You mean like them saying that the economy is better and that inflation is not a thing? That
That and the fact that, like, for instance, Trump and Elon had a thing on X, which
Mhm.
I listened to, mind you, live,
Okay.
and there was a DDoS attack. So somebody tried to basically attack their cyber thing, which
Okay.
pushed it back about 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay.
They got it taken care of. It came on. There was over 1 million people on X alone listening to it live, and it stayed at 1 million people for like 2 hours. Not to mention all the other people that were simulcasting it. According to Elon's numbers, over 1 billion people listened to that thing over the last couple days. Right, over 1 billion. And it was a long conversation. It was actually a pretty good conversation as far as I'm concerned. The
Okay.
very next day, when you turn on MSNBC or CNN, all they said was a glitch. They were talking about the glitch, and they were talking just a bunch of nonsense. Like they completely glossed over the fact 1 billion people listened to this. They glossed over the fact that they got it to work. It was a DDoS. They kept calling it a glitch. A DDoS attack is not a glitch.
I
That's
don't
not
even know
that
what a
was.
DDoS attack is.
It
Just
doesn't
for
matter. The
it
point
doesn't
is, it was an
matter.
attack. It was a
Right.
somebody tried to attack it and everything else, and they
Okay.
because it was an opportunistic thing for a hacker to try, and they tried it, they failed, and
Right.
it came off without a hitch.
Right.
You had over 1 billion people listen to it in a couple
A
days.
lot
Like
of
that's
people.
impressive.
Are you exaggerating? Are you doing a Trump exaggeration or is that
No,
real? A
Elon
billion
posted
people?
the numbers. Over 1 billion people have
That's a
heard it.
lot. That's a lot of people.
1.3 million people were listening live just on
Wow.
X. I know that
Wow.
because I listened live and it had a counter when I'm looking at it, thinking, holy
Wow.
cow, there's 1.3 million people
Wow.
listening to this. Then there's other people who were simulcasting it at the exact same time. So on
Damn.
YouTube and everything else, there was hundreds of thousands of people on multiple different channels. And then afterwards, people who were replaying it. So over 1 billion people listened to that.
Right.
People from not obviously not
Well,
just
just to be fair, it doesn't mean 1 billion people agreed with them. It just
no,
means that
no,
1
just
billion people
but
listened.
my
Right.
point is the next day, instead of saying the monumental thing that took place, all I
Right.
wanted
Right.
was
Right.
it was a glitch, and it just
Right. I
complete
got you.
bullshit.
I got
It
you.
was
I
just
got
like
you.
they weren't even trying to
Who?
be to pretend
But they're
that
trying to
we
win a
were.
race, Trinity. They're trying to
No,
win a race.
no. As a reporter, you're not supposed to win a fucking race.
All reporters. So you think that
When you're watching the
reporters?
media, when they're reporting it, and that to me is
All right.
why I think the
So,
election was rigged.
so
The
here's where
election
we.
was rigged not because people were stuffing ballot boxes and things. No, the election was rigged because they promoted Trump to be this crazy lunatic racist who's out there to attack democracy and had everybody believing all this nonsense. So when the election came, it was a foregone conclusion that Biden was absolutely going to win, and they're trying to do it again. And it's crazy to me that like it's happening right in front of our eyes, blatantly, and people are acting as if it's not. That's what's pissing me off because I'm tired of people pissing on me, telling me it's
Yeah.
rain.
Yeah.
It's clearly not rain. I'm looking at it.
I do think that's what kind of makes some of it very, very difficult. The fact that I can watch something and then, we all know I'm a flipper, right? I go
Yeah.
from CNN, I go to Fox, I go to News Nation, I go to CNN, I go to Fox, I go to News Nation. And when Channel 13 is worse here locally in Central Florida. I don't know.
I don't have 13.
Oh my God, dude. The local channels sometimes can be worse sometimes when it talks politics because it's like, it's so obvious what they're doing. Like they don't report it the same way, and they say the exact same. They use the exact terminology. Like they all say the exact same words, like it's rehearsed. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, all right, so News Nation doesn't do that.
It's a script.
Fox
They all
doesn't
get
do
on
that.
script.
But all the rest of them all sound exactly the same.
Yeah,
And
it's crazy.
So it kind of, I hear stuff like that, and I'm like, well, we know that when we make fun of countries like China, we make fun of countries like Russia, what we say is we know the government owns all the media, right? When you're in China that if you see it on television and even the social medias and all that, they control all things internet, all things visual, every little bit of things that you see, they somehow filter it. Are we okay with that? Like, I'm not okay with that. I'd rather hear you say your opinion, but don't call it news. That's where I struggle with it.
Yeah.
Don't call it news. Call it opinion.
Yeah.
Call it editorial, something, but don't call it news.
Dude, I watched the. So I don't know much about JD Vance. I watched his Hillbilly Elegy, effigy, whatever it's called, way back
Elegy.
before
Mhm.
Elegy, way back before he was him. Like I
Right.
watched that. I
Yeah,
didn't know
me
it was
too.
him. It was good. I liked
I
it.
liked it too.
But I saw an interview. I saw multiple interviews actually over the last week or so since he's been announced
Right.
to actually kind of get to know who this dude is. And I like him, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But what I like most about him is he goes into the Lion's Den. He's been on CNN. He's
Right.
been on MSNBC.
Right.
And the thing that bothered me was his CNN interview specifically.
Mhm.
They're I'm watching in real time how disingenuous and phony these people are
What are they
in
doing?
real time. First of all, she's interviewing him like it's like a combative argument. She's not asking him questions. She's like arguing with him, and it's like very combative, and it drives me nuts because it's like, hold up, dude, like why are you so hostile to this guy? Like, are you
Yeah.
asking questions, or are you like I should know your political leanings as the interviewer?
Oh.
And it was obvious that she did not like this dude or want Trump to win, and the way she was attacking him was insane to me. And then she was addressing this whole thing with Tim Walz about his military career, and she said to him, you know, are you questioning his service or whatever? And JD Vance says, no, I'm not questioning his service because JD was also a Marine. He said, what
Right,
I'm questioning is the dude lied and said that he had combat when he didn't.
Right.
That's what don't lie and embellish your military career in order to get sympathy, empathy, or votes.
Yeah.
That's what I have a problem with. And then right when he got done saying that, her response to that was, so you're going to question his military service? He's like, that is not what I said. Like, how do you manipulate what I'm saying right in front of me in real time? Why
Did he say that? Did he say that?
Well, no, he kept correcting her.
Right.
He's like, that's not what I said. You're misphrasing or whatever. But my point is, like, that's what bothers me is you call it news and it's not.
Right.
You're spinning stuff and giving your opinion.
Right.
And it's not, you're not even trying to hide it anymore. Like, you're not even trying to pretend that you're unbiased. It's like, it's so
You don't have
obvious.
to.
It's crazy to me.
Well, let's go back to the Waltz thing for a second because I want to say something about that. First of all, when I saw that he was a command sergeant major, obviously my eyes perk up. And I'll tell you why, because my dad is a retired command sergeant major. So I saw that. But then I saw something that said he was a retired master sergeant, right? So I'm thinking, okay, so I immediately go to, yeah. So I go to my father and I said, Dad, how can he be retired at a master sergeant level, yet they say he's a command sergeant major, that he retired as command sergeant major? My dad looks it up. My dad sees the guy. My dad saw one thing, that the guy never went to the Sergeant Major's Academy. So right away, my dad's like, okay, so he was promoted, but in that promotion means you go to the Sergeant Major's Academy and then you serve for 2 years as a command sergeant major, as a sergeant major. Once you do that, then you can become a command sergeant major, but you got to serve 2 years after that. And you have to go to the Sergeant Major's Academy. If he didn't go to the Sergeant Major's Academy and he didn't do 2 years after achieving the ability to be a sergeant major, then he couldn't retire as a command sergeant major. Therefore, not even a sergeant major. He had to retire as a master sergeant. And that means everything, because right there comes a lie that doesn't have to be a lie. Because let me tell you something. I'll respect you even if you retired as a private. I will say thank you.
Of course.
I will respect you at any level of service that you did to this country. I will say thank you. But the moment you have to inflate and you allow others to inflate, because look, we know Wikipedia can lie, but it's gotten so much better in the last decade, bro. I mean, really, that's where a lot of people get their facts, right?
Yeah.
But
Or
in
Facebook.
all the news coverage on CNN and everything, command sergeant major, command sergeant, no, you don't have to do that, CNN.
Yeah.
The guy retired as a master sergeant. That means he gets less money. If he would have stayed those 2 years, and it's questionable why, right? Is the people went to Iraq, he chose not to go to Iraq, therefore he didn't.
Yeah,
No,
he
he
left
didn't
because he didn't
stay,
want to go to war.
Whatever his reasons are. And I don't blame a dude for not wanting to go to war. I really don't blame you. You want to not go to war? I get it.
But then don't turn
Yeah,
around and lie to
yeah,
people.
but
and
right,
say
but
he went to
don't-
war.
But then you should correct everybody and say, I'm actually a retired master sergeant because I didn't serve 2 years and I did not go to the Sergeant Major's Academy. And please don't call me a retired command sergeant major, because it's a disrespect to people like Louis' dad out there, my dad, who is a retired command sergeant major and can call himself a retired command sergeant major. My dad not only served as a sergeant major and a command sergeant major, he retired as one. Big difference. So that I found to be disingenuous, and I don't like that has not been corrected yet. I don't like that everywhere you look up this guy's name, it says retired command sergeant major, and that's not a true statement. And how is it that when anyone with the red rag says anything, it's all these, fact check.
Yeah.
But you guys literally are not fact checking your own information. And
because they don't care. That's the problem I have with it. They're just these propaganda machines now. Like, it is state-run media, for God's sakes. It's ridiculous.
State-run media.
And I have a problem with that. Like, I don't like that at all. It pisses me off.
I don't either.
And what pisses me off the most about it is we're all supposed to walk around acting like it's not happening. Like,
right.
But it is, clearly.
Oh, definitely. I mean, look, all the news organizations are on the same little ticker, man. They're all getting it's almost like immediate. It's almost like you hear them. Like, let's say the word of the day is like, what was it? Hubris. You used that word on the last show we just did on WOKB. So all of a sudden they all start using the word hubris that day.
Yeah.
It's that kind of weirdness, right? If you watch one channel, all of a sudden everybody starts using the word. I was like, how did you all start sounding exactly the same one day? I mean, now I get it if you're all on the same channel. I get that. But these are different channels.
Well, they're owned by the same companies.
Same thing.
They're owned by the same Disneys and stuff.
Okay.
Disney owns ABC and all the ones that are attached to it. So it's
just saying, it's
turn it on. It's obvious.
It's pretty darn obvious that this isn't. It never is a fair fight.
No,
and I get it. It's supposed to be a fight, but there should be some rules and laws to calling yourself a news outlet.
But Trump is being smart right now, though. He's doing some things that I don't think they were
smart.
I do. Yeah, I do. Because he's going on streaming. Like, he went on oh gosh, I can't remember his name right now. There's a very popular streamer. Oh my gosh, I can't. Aiden Ross.
Okay.
Aiden Ross has got millions of followers on YouTube, and he went on his stream and did that one. And then he went on the X platform and had over 1 billion. So he's getting his message out there to the people who are paying attention to it.
So let me ask you something.
The legacy media is dying. Don't get that twisted. It's dying.
Okay.
They're not pulling in the numbers. There's more people watching the stream. Like, I think Steven Crowder had a political thing going on during the election.
Right.
More people were watching his stream on the politics thing than they were watching the legacy media.
Okay.
Legacy media is dying.
Well, let me ask you something about that then. All right. So the things that come out of his mouth, do you think?
I love it now. I love it now, dude. That interview on X, I think it was, man, he won me over on that.
See, I didn't hear it. So I can't.
I listened to the whole thing.
Okay, I didn't listen to it, so I don't know. But I mean, when do you think he should focus more on the policies, as like some people say, or do you think he should continue to?
He does. He does them both.
So then
he says what a lot of us are thinking. Like,
so, like, if I missed it,
she's an idiot. She's stupid. Yeah. He calls her stupid because she's stupid.
All right, let's see what
Leo. The stuff that comes out of her mouth.
What is Leo saying?
He says, "Love Trump, but can we stop the name calling? We all know she's a flipping idiot. Word salad." No, but that's the thing is, I don't like. They want to act like she's not. They want to pretend that we didn't just have her for 3.5 years, and we don't all know that she just can't speak out there. She failed at the one job that she had.
But at some point,
she steals them from people.
But at some point, if he keeps doing it, it starts looking more like abuse and stuff rather than
good abuse away. Fuck it, man. Look. Let me ask you a question. All right, let's
ask me.
Real here.
All right.
If you went from being a public figure where everybody knows who you are for the better part of 3 decades, and you're relatively popular, your name is on everything, you were never considered, nobody really had anything bad to say about you.
Right.
You run for political office. Next thing you know, you lose. Like, you were now considered a racist, even though you've never been called a racist ever before. In the last 40 years that we've known who you are, you get called all these deplorable names. People hate you. Somebody shoots at you.
You became a redneck all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You're a New Yorker that became a redneck.
Somebody takes a shot at you and tries to murder you because they don't like what you have to say. Yeah. They give you like 80 different felony cases and just all this stuff. Are you going to be cool about that? Or are you going to be just a little pissed off and have a chip on your shoulder? He has the right to be pissed, bro. Like, fuck it. You know what? I would be pissed too, bro. I'd be like, you know what? Gloves are coming off. Fuck it. We're going to have our.
I would be.
We're all going to be mad today.
Yeah,
And-
I would be too, but I'm not president
But
material.
that's why they voted for him. Because
Yeah.
look at what President Material got us: 3.5
Yeah.
years of inflation. Like I'm telling you, dude, he's winning me over.
Dude.
I've never been a Trump guy. I just don't like bullying, so I stood up to a lot of people the way they were treating him.
Right.
But the more I actually listen to his speeches and stuff, the more I'm paying attention. The more I kind of like the guy now,
I
man.
got
They've turned me into liking him
Okay,
because I love when he
this is
calls.
a very different you from a year ago.
Yes, I'm getting tired of it, bro. I love that he called.
I don't think you're getting tired of it. I think you're tired of it.
I like when he said. I loved when he called him Gavin Newscum. I love it, dude. Take the gloves off and just let's call Jerry Springer and make it trashy.
So
Why not?
how do you feel about them now? The Crips are now saying that like Biden is this amazing guy that
Yeah.
is now stepped down for the good of the nation.
Yeah. First of all, he's been part of the machine that nobody likes for 40 something years.
So
And he didn't step down. He was pushed out.
that's my point. So did he do it for the good of the nation,
No,
like this George
he
Washington-esque guy thing, or did he get pushed
He
out by
did it
his
because the
party?
people who were doing Weekend at Bernie's propping him up shook his head no. Because he hasn't made any real decisions for God only knows how long.
So how is it they're getting away with that? Like seriously, they're getting away with that. They're getting away with
But
kind
Trump
of
is an
painting-
attack on democracy because he called somebody stupid.
But the history books are going to say how great
Yeah.
Biden was because he stepped down and
Yeah.
gave this to her. Why doesn't he just give it to her now? She would have a better chance of becoming a president if he gave it to her now.
I have no idea.
By
man.
the way, if he gave it to her now, could she still run twice or now once?
I don't know.
Like if she was president
I think
for only,
you can only be elected twice, so she could serve technically now and then be elected 2 more times.
wouldn't that be the right thing to do?
Well, if you're not able to run a campaign, then how are you able to be the president?
Well, there's a big difference. I can see because there's a difference between being able to run for another 4 years and running for several months, right? There is a difference to that.
He can't do either.
Well, we know
The
that.
dude doesn't even know where he's at half the
He
time.
doesn't, dude. He doesn't.
I mean, come on, dude. We
He does.
all know that. Like, we all watched, even if you weren't paying attention to politics for the last couple of years, you
Right.
just watch 5 minutes of the debate. It's like arguing with grandpa about eating his peas. Like, come on, man.
It's worse than that. It's like
It's insane.
it's like trying to get the keys away from a very old man. Like they don't want to
Yeah.
give it up, and they're trying to they're now trying to convince us that he gave us his keys without being prompted.
And you
Like,
know, the other
nobody
thing-
asked for the keys; he just gave them up.
the reason
That's
why
not what
I
happened.
like him calling names and stuff like that is because what's making me like him now, as opposed to just tolerating,
Right.
is I respect the fight. I don't necessarily like the dude. I've never met him, but I respect the fight because I think to myself, what would I do if I'm being cornered everywhere I go and people are constantly like laying it on me?
I got
At
you.
some point, man, I'm coming out corner fighting. Like, well,
Yeah.
let's do it. So when he went to like that black journalism thing,
Yeah.
and he was fine. He was minding his business until that chick started in on him. When she started in, he's like, oh, we're doing that. Okay. So he called her out for being 30 minutes late. He called her out for the terrible like mics and stuff. He just let it all out. I like that. And you know what? He won him over. If you listen to the crowds, they're cheering for him.
Well, and-
Even though if you watch, hold on, if you watch CNN and everything else, they said, oh, he called her black and blah and everything else. Bullshit, dude. Even the black community is calling her out for saying that she's black because she was the first Indian, whatever, back in 2000. Now all of a sudden she's black, depending on who she's talking to. Like, she's fake, man. And all he's doing is calling her out on that. And you know what? Good for him. And he didn't call anybody out on anything until that journalist wanted to lay into him and be all aggressive and stuff. So that's when he started calling her out for being late, calling her out for everything else. Good for him.
So let's
Fight,
talk
bro.
about let's talk about the name calling because we've talked about it a little bit, but we hear him calling names, and I asked you how you feel about him calling names, but let's be real honest here.
They've been calling him names. For,
He's got called more
Yeah.
names than
They've been
he's called other people. I mean, he may call New Scum or
It's funny to me.
Lion
Sleepy
Biden or Sleepy Joe, but
Yeah.
that is nowhere near to using the word racist. To
they've been
somebody.
calling him a racist,
Calling
attacking
somebody a racist,
Hitler.
attacking their wife, attacking his kids.
You compared him to Hitler.
Dude, he literally has a family that's a tight family unit, and they ignore the fact that he's married to an immigrant and a tight family unit that they're all
He
highly
doesn't smoke.
educated
He doesn't do
and they're
drugs.
all tight, no drinking, no drugs. None of them have been involved in those scandals. The same way Biden's family has got all kinds of scandals going on,
Yeah.
and they make him out to be like father of the year, like
Yeah.
grandfather of
Yeah.
the year.
Yeah. It's crazy to me. It's
like Trump is the guy with the sex. They keep on acting like he's some sex charges, but Biden is the one that was smelling women's hair not too long ago, and little kids' hair, and we were like saying, hey, keep your,
it's crazy to me.
Right?
It's like
weird.
I'm watching things with my own eyes, and they're trying to tell me I'm not seeing what I'm seeing.
They're not trying to tell you; they are telling you.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me. Like, so I don't know, man. I like the fact that he's fighting. Like, fight away, bro. Fight harder. I don't care. Like, go ahead, bro. Like, let's take it to the streets.
Would you? Is there somebody else that you would have rather seen him be vice president with instead of Vance, or is Vance, like, now that you've seen a little bit more about?
I like Vance, man. If I'm honest, the more I see him, the more I like him. It helps that I watched the Hillbilly Effigy or whatever it is, like from many years ago. Elegy. There we go. I didn't watch.
The only reason I know is because I have the books, man. I actually.
I didn't read the books. I watched the movie
years
ago.
I bought two, same book, but I bought two of them just because I could read one and the other one put away because you never know who he's going to be, right?
Yeah. So I watched the movie. This was years ago.
Love the movie.
I love the movie. It was good. Loved it. So when they were announced and I found out that was him, I felt like I at least knew something of him. But when the last few days, when I saw him do what Kamala refused to do, and that is talk to people, I was impressed. Like, he went into CNN, he went into MSNBC where he knew it was going to be confrontational, and he sat there. He didn't lose his cool. He corrected him. He was very straight to the point. And then you got Kamala 3 weeks later, still hasn't spoken to anybody. like hasn't even done an interview. Like, it's crazy.
Well,
so
it's on her terms. She speaks to people, but it's all on her terms. It's all like,
okay. She needs the exorcist to tell her what she's supposed to say.
Yeah, I mean,
she's a terrible speaker.
She's not good without prompting, bro. She's not. Yeah. I mean, we've seen her.
Even with prompting, she's not good, man.
Right.
Like, how nobody voted for her at all, ever. Like, she tried to get votes, and
the part that's really weird for me, man.
Yes,
the part that's weird.
How did she become the person when nobody wanted her?
I don't know.
It's crazy to me.
And what if she's good? What if she's good?
We have proof over the last 3.5 years that she's terrible. Like, she had one job, and we have the worst immigration we've ever had. She had one job. She was the border czar, even though they want to come out and say that she wasn't.
So
the border czar.
Okay, but let's say she wasn't that. What was her job? What was
Maybe she brought the cookies for everybody during meetings or something. I don't know.
I'm just like, seriously, if she's telling the truth,
and she's for Montel Williams. Like, that's my thing. You laugh, right? Are we supposed to fucking ignore this? That's my problem. Are we supposed to ignore that all this history is out there? We're also just pretend like none of this happened.
Dude,
like, she wasn't on red carpet with Montel and stuff. Like, she wasn't in a sexual relationship with somebody that magically became a senator the next time.
Right.
Like, there's none of this history. Like, we're just supposed to ignore all these factual things, man.
Dude,
like,
the laptop is not real still.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still.
And they still talk about Russia collusion, even though it's been proven
collusion is still
false.
Yeah, Russia collusion is still a thing.
Crazy to me. Crazy.
That January 6th is still a thing. It's the worst that ever happened.
The worst thing that's ever happened. Somebody was trying to say that was worse than 9/11 the other day. Like, you're out of your mind, bro.
Right.
Like, what?
Right.
That Trump derangement syndrome is absolutely real. It's crazy to watch. I don't understand it.
So what's worse, COVID or Trump derangement syndrome?
What's worse?
Yeah.
In what context? I mean, more people have died because of
right. So the initial COVID, but like, here's what I saw the today is funny on Channel 13 here locally in Central Florida. It was like, because there's been this new COVID strain, there's a new another vaccine, another booster, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, didn't Fauci just have COVID 3 times? What is this supposed to prevent? I mean, you're not doing a good job selling me on a booster. Yeah. If people that have the booster keep getting COVID, that doesn't sell me on anything. What's Leo saying from St. Louis? Let's see.
He says, hearing and reading that Kamala's husband paid off the nanny who was pregnant to go away.
Yeah, there's so many scandals.
Yeah, but we're supposed to pretend like none of those exist. Like, those aren't real. Like,
it's because one major thing. If you truly believe, Trina, now put yourself in their headspace. If you really believe that this guy is Hitler-esque, and I hate to even compare him to Hitler because that's really minimizing what Hitler was. I mean, nobody's like Hitler. Hitler was, God, hopefully a once in a lifetime kind of like ugliness, right? Evilness. But if you really felt that that's who it was, and you really felt like this guy is threatened to end the nation as we know it, wouldn't you lie, cheat, and steal and hide scandals and do anything you can just to not have him as the next president? Wouldn't you do that too?
Yeah, but I wouldn't be stupid enough to believe it in the first place. That's the problem,
Yeah.
right? There's things called evidence, right?
Right.
And there is no evidence that he's Hitler-esque. Only a fool would believe that. Like
Right.
you are stupid if you
Right.
think that he is Hitler-esque. Stupid. I'm not
So,
going
so
to.
let's well, let's
You
talk
are
about that.
stupid
So
if you
let's-
think he's Hitler-esque.
So let's
Hitler
talk
killed
about that.
millions of people.
There's some really smart people that are buying this. I mean, they
I don't
really
know if
are.
they're
There's some
buying it.
really
Like
smart people.
I don't know if they're buying it as much as their pockets are benefiting from it.
Well,
I think some people
I'm
they
not going to
benefit.
call certain people out because I do know some people that but they really. I mean, you talk about Trump and they get feverish, like they get like
Yeah.
it's a sickness.
Trump derangement syndrome.
It's strong.
And it was what I was saying on that's what I was alluding to on our previous show on WKB when I
Right.
said lower level thinking.
Right.
There's no critical thinking anymore. Nobody actually like researches or listens to things. They just read a headline and then nope, that's the truth now. And it's like,
But those are the same people that tell me that they research, and it's the people that watch Fox News that don't read past the headline.
yeah. Everybody thinks that everybody's got the main character syndrome where they think they're the only ones. But it's like,
I mean, they really believe that the reason you talk the
know.
way you talk, you must watch Fox News, and you don't.
no,
you don't-
I watch half the time.
you
I
don't
watch
know any
CNN.
facts.
That's the problem.
that you don't do any investigating. That you watch Fox News. That's what some
No,
people would say.
So like my problem is when I listened to the Trump Elon
Right.
discussion, right? I wouldn't even call that an interview. It's just they were talking. And the next day, the clips that they were airing, the things that he was saying that he said
Right.
just wasn't true. It's
Mhm.
much in the same way as, once again, if you are an individual, if you're listening to this right now, and email me all you want, I don't give a shit. If you think Trump said to put bleach in your body to get rid of COVID, you are stupid. You're stupid if you think that that's what he said. Nobody in their right mind would listen to that press conference and walk away thinking that Trump said put bleach in your
Right.
body. But that's what they reported. They all tried to say, oh, Trump's no, he didn't, you idiot. That is not what came out of his mouth. And if
That's
that's
right.
what you walked away with, you are stupid. And you
Yeah.
shouldn't be allowed to vote. You shouldn't be allowed to leave the house, let alone vote. Like how you make decisions on a daily basis when you think that that's what came out of his mouth, I don't know. And that's my problem. And so don't listen to the regurgitated opinions on CNN or Fox or MSNBC or wherever else you want to get your news from. Listen to these people are speaking all the time. It's all on recorded. You can go back on YouTube or whatever and watch it anytime you want. Listen to the thing yourself, and then ask yourself, is that what you took from it? And 9 times out of 10, if you got even a half a brain, you're going to say, no, that's not what I'm getting out of it. But because I kid you not, dude, even my wife hates Trump. I'm talking Trump derangement syndrome to the max. She's been, because I've been listening to some of these things, she's been listening to it because she's in the same living room with me. She's on her phone, but she can't help to overhear certain things. And even when she was listening to it, she was like, oh, that's not half bad, some of the things that he said. But then right afterwards,
Right.
the second it finishes, the first thing I do is I go to see what the opposition's saying. I don't go listen to Fox. No, the second it's over, I go and I turn on CNN. I can't stand MSNBC. I just can't do it.
either.
So I turn on CNN and see what the opposition's saying. And I listen to the things that even my wife was like, that's not what he said. So even she started to piece together, like, hold up. I just listened. I had to sit here and my husband made me suffer through this like 2-hour dialogue. And that is not what he said. Like, so even she, who is biased against him and can't stand him, can hear.
That's why they censor him, right? That's why they censor him. That's why they put
Yes.
gag orders on him. That's why
Of
they
course.
try to silence him. They try to.
They try to do that to Elon. Dude,
They don't let his voice be heard on their channels. Like they'll only show edited versions, and they'll tell the public, we're protecting you from misinformation. See, because we can't. We've already been through this, and we know he's a liar. And
Well, they're
he gives
trying.
misinformation. We're gonna hold back and then give you edited versions, and people believe that crap.
That's the problem. That's why they don't like Elon now. Elon went from this amazing leftist, like everybody loves him because he's cool and electric, everything else, to now he's using his brain and trying to think, hey, this guy's actually not that bad. Now all of a sudden he's the devil and stuff because he bought X. and it's no longer the propaganda machine that it was. He
Right.
released it to Twitter files, and it was proof that they were censoring things and they were doing really shady stuff
Right,
for
right.
the Democratic people. Then, I love Elon, bro.
I do
It's like,
too. I really
dude,
do.
Elon, I was already here with this dude, but the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks, he's I
I
love this dude.
I love when you got FU money and you just use it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he FU money. He bought Twitter. It was like, okay, well, I'll buy it. How about that?
Yeah.
And then he released all the Twitter files.
Mhm.
Then he came out and said about what the people that were trying to blackmail him and things of that nature. All these different companies. Right before the Trump thing was announced, the EU sent out the letter to say, hey, we're trying to I don't know what it was called. They were going to go after him and sue him and stuff like that for putting false information.
Mhm.
And number one, he posted about the fact that they sent out blackmail to all of the different ones, and because he said no, they sent out the letter. And then number two, he he put the meme up from Tom Cruise from Tropic Thunder
Uh-huh.
when he told them basically to go fuck themselves. He put the meme up in response to the EU thing. I love that. I love that. And then during that conversation, Elon basically just said he would take a position in Trump's cabinet.
What?
Yeah, not he doesn't want to like an elected position, but he said he would do like a consultant type thing. But he would basically help him with his thing.
Well, Leo's saying he's going to save the astronauts. What did I miss about that? What is it?
I don't think I heard that
The
one.
astronauts. I mean, he already saved NASA, really.
Yeah.
I mean, do we all look, for those of you outside of Florida, when NASA like kind of crumbled, dude, you could buy ocean property in Brevard County for like less, like for like $100,000, $200,000. I mean, it like went from $1 million property, like $200,000 property overnight. And then Elon Musk came and like breathed oxygen using the same money, by the way, just saving, like running the business better.
Yeah.
And now that property is back to $1 million property.
Oh, that was the one thing. That was one of the things that Elon said that he would help Trump on is the spending. Like the way
he
that
does
they
it so
spend
much
money.
better, dude. The dude landed on a barge, dude. I remember when I first heard that happen, I was like,
Yeah.
no way did he land. We all remember as a kid watching the thing go up and then it splits off and then things
lands
go
in
into the ocean.
somewhere. Yeah.
NASA was cool with that for generations.
Yeah.
This guy was not cool with that. He's
Yeah.
like, I want to reuse that. That's expensive shit.
How about he bought Twitter and fired half of them and it runs better?
And it landed.
Yeah.
I mean, but Trinity, landed on a barge, bro. Like
Yeah.
not once has it missed since
No.
since it lands on the. How
Yeah.
does that thing come back
Yeah,
and
it
land
uses it.
on? What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
How is that even possible?
And think about it this way: that dude right there backs Trump. Think about that. So what many would say would be the smartest individual we have to offer as society at the moment is backing Trump.
how
What
does
does
he
that
do
tell
that?
you?
Dude, we wouldn't even be talking of electric cars if that dude didn't have Tesla.
Yeah.
It wasn't an electric car and then all the rest gas. No, every single car he made was electric. It is electric. That's it.
Yeah.
Tesla doesn't sell gas powered.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is just that kind of genius.
Yeah. And he's backing Trump. What does that tell you?
Yeah.
If the smartest dude in the room, like, you know what, you want to do something, find somebody who's better doing it and do what they do, So if the smartest person in the room is leaning one direction, maybe you should think about that.
Maybe
And he
Trump-
obviously isn't worried about keeping his money. He's the richest dude. He doesn't care. Money is not his motivating factor.
Right. That's right.
So this notion that he's only doing it because stop. That's never been. He spent 40-some billion dollars to prove a point.
Yeah.
Like, money is not his thing.
And he's proven it. He's proven it. He proved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about all right. So their actual, I'm not going to say policies because
Kamala doesn't have any policies.
no. Instead of saying policies, let's just go to the fact that they talk to us as if we didn't have 4 years of Trump. Right?
Yeah.
So they say the sky is falling, but I think they forget, wait a minute, we all lived through 4 years of Trump. And if I were to say what were the miserable parts of those 4 years, here's what I would say. I didn't like watching statues getting torn down. I did not like watch I didn't like what happened with the George Floyd thing and how we responded to that. I think there was a better response. The adults in the room should not have made it political. And if they would not have made it political, we could have understood what changes need to be had within our system that could be helpful to people instead of making it as if the whole system is just horrible. I didn't like that COVID happened, and I didn't like the fact that we were okay with not knowing how it happened. The whole world got shut down, and the focus was not on how did this occur. There was only one person in all of Washington that was saying this is where it happened, China. And nobody else was saying it. Like, that was bad to say. Like, you couldn't even insinuate that that happened. That is what I remember of those 4 years. But in all of that, that was the negative. What was the positive? Financially, we're all rolling in it. The world was good. The finances were good. The economy is good. A matter of fact, because the economy was so good before COVID hit, was the only reason I was able to live through COVID, though as comfortably as I lived through COVID. Because I did so well in those years leading up to it, I was able to survive COVID. Now, what happened these last 3.5, 4 years? Are you kidding me right now? Can anyone say that they're better financial? Are you nuts? Even if you make more money, you're spending more money. So it doesn't add up. I mean, the fact that so many on the left are trying to tell me that the economy is actually good, it's just some reason there's something wrong with my head of why my perception is off. But actually, the economy is good, inflation is good, all that stuff is good. It's just that I'm not seeing it right. I'm like, no, I'm seeing it every time I buy and spend. I know, because the numbers aren't adding up right. So I don't care who or what they think that they're saying. I know what reality is.
Yeah.
Right. So I struggle with that. But I know what I did good in those 4 years. So them saying, oh, if Trump is in office, he's never going to leave office. The dude did leave office. He didn't have to give up office. He did leave office. I already have proof that he went into office and then he left office. Yeah, he complained about it. Who doesn't?
Yeah, they all do.
Who doesn't? They all complain about it.
Gore tried to take it to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, the lady in Atlanta said, it was a racist state. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. She got cheated.
They all do.
So
that's what you do.
So what he said and what he did is two different things. He said it, but he left.
Yeah.
So you can't tell us that he's a dictator when he didn't do dictator stuff. And then they keep on saying he said he was going to be dictator day one. It was kind of a half joke when he says, I'm not going to be a dictator. He goes, oh, maybe on day one. And what he meant was, and you heard,
dictate these things.
He's going to do something. Yeah. Well, what did Biden do on day one? He got rid of every policy and every order that Trump had did.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So is that not the same of what Trump was? See, it's just I just don't like when, like you said, they urinate on you and they say it's raining. No, you're urinating on me. Yeah. I know what you're really doing here.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. I don't have the patience for it. It's ridiculous, man.
Well, it's obviously it's the truth that's out there, right?
I just don't like stupidity, man. I'm just tired of it.
All right, so I got sent something. It said NASA's working with Elon Musk SpaceX on plans to return 2 astronauts to Earth in the event that they're unable to travel on the troubled Boeing company. Oh, all right. So that's what Leo sent me when he says that he is going to save the astronauts.
One more thing Elon's doing.
So here, let's talk a little bit about that. So who's that other dude? The other dude that Amazon, Bezos.
Mm-hmm.
So Bezos creates his company, right? And big Democrat, we all know it. Just like Elon Musk was a big Democrat, right?
Well, according to Elon, he leaned more one way, but he was never a Democrat.
Okay, so he was independent?
Yeah, according to him.
Okay. I don't know how he was registered, so let me rephrase. But we know Bezos, right? Now, Bezos, every time his rockets go up, what are they carrying? Rich people.
He's doing tourism stuff,
Yeah, he created his entire space program, not for the benefit of the world, but for the benefit of Bezos, right? Yeah. It's so that people can go up like it's a ride on Disney at Disney World
and pay for it, absurd amounts of money.
Right. Elon Musk does it for the good of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't do stuff for money. He does it for humanity. Everything he's done has made him money, but that's because money follows goodness, man. If you do the right thing, money is going to follow. So he should earn money from what he's done. But he's done it because it's good for humanity. Now, look at even this Return to Astronauts. He thinks, like, how can I be of service to this world?
Yeah.
How can I make a mark on this world? Even by naming his company Tesla. If we know who Tesla was, if we research who Tesla was, even the naming it is giving homage and giving respect to those that walked before him.
Yeah.
I think that's a big difference than some of these other guys.
Well, and that's my thing is if that person who is for the betterment of humanity, who's obviously the smartest person in pretty much every room he walks in,
right?
If he is backing openly Trump, knowing what it's going to do to him, right? Because that's not a popular thing to do,
right?
And he's still doing it. Right. That should give everybody pause, bro. Everybody should be like, "Whoa, that's interesting." Like that is a big deal to have him not only back him, but then be willing to take a place in his administration. Like that is a big deal.
So my vote's still up in the air.
Mine's not.
I hear you. My vote's still up in the air, and I hope to hold it up in the air until at least November 1. Right? When is voting day? What
voting day? I think it's like November 4th, I believe.
Okay.
I don't know. I vote early all the time, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not going to vote early. So by November 1, I want to know.
Well, we're going to have some debates coming up, which I think is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you expect to see in these debates? What's a good showing? What's a bad showing? What do you expect?
I expect Kamala to show up and be completely demolished, and look terrible for those of us who have any sort of sense. I think the people who are pro her and delusional, they're going to walk away thinking how he was more of him and blah, blah, blah. But anybody who has any sense whatsoever, I don't think she's in over her head. She's lost like every debate she's ever had. Man. The Tulsi Gabbard thing is like ended her whole entire campaign. And then with the Tim Walz and the JD, I can't see Tim Walz beating JD either. JD seems like he's much more adept.
Smart, man. That dude's
JD is ready. I don't.
Smart, bro.
Yeah, I think that was a good pick for him. I know a lot of people are questioning it, but I think that was a good pick for him. I don't know, man.
It seems a little weird to me. It's just a little weird, and Walz seems just a little weird to me.
Which is funny because they're trying to call them weird. They're trying to call Trump and JD weird.
I can't. I wouldn't call them weird. I mean, they're definitely like what I look for in leadership, whether I like it or not. What I like about leadership is being decisive and true to the point. In other words, when they speak, when JD Vance speaks and when Trump speaks, I feel there's some genuineness there. They're genuine. Like, you know what? They believe in what they're going, and they have a reason to believe what they're saying.
What I like though is time and time again, every time there's an opportunity. As Forrest Gump would say, JD's a smart man. Yeah. The thing that has started to win me over the last couple of weeks is every time I hear about an anecdotal or an offhand story, where every time there's an opportunity for somebody to show who they truly are, dude, Trump just has the right answer. They took a shot at him, like, and he gets up in the middle of that, like, fight. Dude, I'm gonna be honest, man. I come from the hood. I've had guns pulled on me. If I'm in a situation where that happens, I'm telling them, get me out. I'm leaving. Peace. I'm out. I'm not sitting. He stood up and like, come on, that's the most gangster thing you could do, bro. Like, and that wasn't rehearsed. That was just straight off the cuff. That was his thinking in that intense moment. Yeah, you got to respect that.
Yeah, if you're a dude and you saw that and you didn't get a sense of like respect from that, I don't know where you get your testosterone from, because I know when my testosterone gets generated, and when I saw that, I was like,
well, and then the other one, did you hear the story about the one where the ISIS guy, when he gave him the photograph of him and his wife in front of the house?
What was that about? What are you talking about?
So apparently Trump was over there and dealing with ISIS, and they're trying to pull troops out or do something, and he told the guy, the ISIS leader, he said, look, I'm going to work with you, but not a single American is going to be hurt. And if they are, I'm going to kill you. And then he gave the guy an envelope. And inside the envelope was a picture of the guy and his family in front of the house. That's some OG stuff right there, dude. Like, come on, man. Like, that's a leader. That's what you respect. And I don't think that, like, people like Putin, people like the Iran leader and stuff, I don't see them negotiating well with Kamala. I see them respecting Trump only because he's such a wild card. You don't know what he's going to do, so you have to respect the fact that I need to work with this dude. Because if he finds out we're doing something crazy, he might just bomb us. And you've got to respect that.
Yeah, you're saying some really good things that I want to color a little bit. If you're thinking about the person that's leading your yoga class, that's not the same person you want leading your country.
That's not the person I want negotiating for me.
Yeah, but for yoga, that's what you want for your yoga class.
Yeah,
and that's exactly the kind. If you're picking up your vanilla latte, your grande vanilla latte at Starbucks, that's not the same person you want. You're running your country, but you want that person as your barista. As a barista, you love that person.
Yeah.
But not at leading your country. And I think that's where we get muddled. I think we want to like I don't want to like my president like that. I don't need to like my president be like I want my president to be the kind of father that I should be the kind of man I should be, the husband I should be, no, I want the president to be whatever they need to be to keep everybody away from us and to keep our finances in check. That's over anything. I even all this reproductive rights and all. Listen, all I care about is the finances. All the other stuff, we got Congress and senators. We got all these people to do the law stuff. For the president, we need to keep the country in check, keep everybody away from us, keep that image strong to let them know I got the button. You know, I can do that. Even though we really know the president is a figurehead, but a figurehead, but at least a figurehead that can scare the crap out of some people.
Yeah, everybody agrees with that, though. That's the problem. Is we don't want to admit it, but we all agree with that.
Right.
If you're in trouble and you got to call a lawyer, do you want the lawyer who's just this wonderful, kind-hearted, loving person who just wants everybody to do well in life and is there, or do you want the dude that's going to go for the jugular?
We see who they get. We see who these same Hollywood people go get. They go get the killers.
Yes, and that's who I want.
Yeah.
So, like, if I want somebody negotiating for me and negotiating for my country and trying to do what's best for us, I want that dude.
That's a great point.
I want I want the same thing with my leaders. I want my lawyer. I want the dude that's going to go and do the shadies, to do whatever it takes to keep me from taking my butt to jail.
Yeah. When these Hollywood actors lose their wives like they always do, and they get divorced. Do they get the divorce lawyer that goes, let's be kind to her?
No.
Give her what you want.
They go after the shark.
Or do they get the guy that says, F her, you earn the money.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? What do we I got this. Don't worry about this.
And that's who I want negotiating.
You're right. You're right about that. That's a great point.
I want the dude that's willing to do what it takes. And he's been proven over the 40 years plus that he'll do what it takes to keep the company running. He knows how to do the deals. He knows how to shake the tree, do whatever he's got to do. And it might be some shady, underhanded stuff, but I want that dude working for me, not against me.
Why is it that in all of history of Hollywood, the word communist is always an issue in Hollywood? It always almost seems like fiction. Like, why did they? You remember that? Like in the black and white days where they would talk about communism in the Hollywood, and it always be like, what? How does that even? I never really understood how that went together, to be honest with you. But do you realize we're still doing that? We're still being like, oh, that socialism and communism comes from that Hollywood. What is that it exists?
I don't know.
I
don't even know.
That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
In other words, we talked enough. We did the Couch Live earlier, and we did it on WOKB, and now we did We the Middle. We are Dope and Dharma. It was good talking to you, man. It's been a while since we've done a social. It's good. We got to just try to do these more often, like we're supposed to.
All right.
Anyway, we're done. We're good. You got anything left to say?
No, I think I said enough.
I think you said a lot of good stuff, man. I really appreciate you, man. It's awesome. All right, then. Adios, amigos. It's time for taco. Goodbye.